Hare Krishna. Good morning from Israel, Middle East. Before we gonna start, I'm just gonna give you a little introduction to this topic because I noticed this is one of the most common, I would say, like negative comments all the time. Okay, we already have a comment. Let's see. Do you think devotees, especially outside of India? Oh, where is it? How do I see the comments again? Oh, here. Do you think devotees outside should taking? Okay, the milk thing is another thing. Let's. I'm just gonna give you a little background to this topic. So I noticed this one of the most controversial questions, or I would say like sort of like negative questions that I get on the channel all the time is, why am I asking for donations for the books when I'm chanting? So many things. And I get that too outside, and to sort of exemplify that, I'll relate to something that happened to me just a few days back on Sankirtan when I was chanting Hare Krishna here in Israel. A few people were passing by and they were saying all kind of comments like, "Oh, why don't you get a job?" or you should go and work, things like that. So, and then there was this one lady that she's on the live stream. I'm gonna render the video and put the footage here too, so you have the reference later on. But she came to me and she just asked very nicely if I'm hungry, if I need anything to eat. So I told her back, "You're hungry. You're hungry because you're not chanting the names of God. Because you're not chanting the names of God, because you're not serving God. Your body might be nourished by vegetables, or fruits, or whatever you eat, but your soul remains hungry." So this is actually the problem of materialistic civilization. We're so much accustomed to think that we're the body, and we feed the body all the time, but we forget about the soul, how to feed the soul. And Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master, he gives this very nice example that just like if you're in a car and let's say you drive the car to a destination and you keep the car clean and you tap the car with gas and everything, but you yourself are hungry, how much in difficulty you're going to be throughout the road. And if you are hungry for too long of an extent, you're not going to make it in the car either. So you have to feed yourself, your soul. And that's exactly what devotees are doing when they're going outside. We're not begging, we're not collecting the money, the donations. I'm going to explain later on through a particular verse that Prabhupada speaks, why, even though we ask for donations, we're not asking it for the donation's sake. But we're going outside and chant, so we feed people the spiritual food, in the form of the holy name or prasadam, the sanctified foodstuff. And just before we start, I'm gonna warm up the atmosphere with some chanting. So please join me and chant. Yeah, let me know where you're watching from the video. How's the weather there? Here it's pretty sunny. It was raining the whole morning program. Now it's a bit. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi particular verse. It's going to be from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hey, Hare Krishna Tom. Nice seeing you here. From Hare Krishna community. That's a nice place to be. Jaipur. Okay, questions about milk. We can keep them for a bit, for another topic. Okay, so Om Agyantaranandasyam Gyanashadasharakaya Chakshunamanita Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, saying my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, kindly open my darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. So I'm going to read this verse and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Are there no torn clothes lying on the common road? Do the trees which exist for maintaining others no longer give alms in charity? Do the rivers, being dried up, no longer supply water to the thirsty? Are the caves of the mountains now closed? Or above all, does the Almighty Lord not protect the fully surrendered souls? Why then do the learned sages go to flatter those who are intoxicated by hard-earned wealth? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The renounced order of life is never meant for begging or living at the cost of others, as parasite. According to the dictionary, parasite is a psychopath who lives at the cost of society without making any contribution to that society. The renounced order is meant for contributing something substantial to society and not depending on the earnings of the householders. This is a very important point. The renounced order of life. There are different orders in the Vedic culture. The monks, like the channel, the living monk, I'm a monk. There's householders, and there are sannyasis, or these are monks that they no longer they can marry. Regular monks, they can marry. Then the householders, but then again they renounce. But the common thread to both of them is that they go out and they beg, they ask contributions. But what is the significance of them being seemingly, asking for donations and begging, is that they are giving always something back. So it's just like at work. You go out. You're not simply taking the salary, but you're getting the salary because of something, because of service, So the difference between spiritual service and material service, that the spiritual service is rendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not rendered to some boss or some person from this material world, but it rendered to the only boss, the boss of all the creation. And there's a give and take policy, that we go out and God, He asks to glorify Him, and we go and we glorify Him. God, He asks to go and remind the conditioned soul about their activity, and we do that. Okay, let's continue. On the contrary, acceptance of alms from householders by a bona fide mendicant is an opportunity afforded by the saint to the tangible benefit of the donor. In the Sanatana Dharma institution, almsgiving to the mendicants is a part of a householder's duty. So just like some of you mentioned actually at the comments, it's a duty. The householders, they earn, and when they give it just simply for the duty's sake. But we have to make sure that they give it to the right person too. Whatever is contributed goes for propagation of God consciousness, Krishna consciousness, spiritual consciousness. And the mendicants, they understand that too. They don't take the alms simply to simply to maintain their material necessities. No, they use these donations, these contributions, to give back to society, because they know, they're aware actually of the necessities of the soul, of the jiva. And it is advised in the scriptures that householders should treat the mendicants as their family children and should provide them with food, clothing, etc., without being asked. Pseudo-mendicants, therefore, should not take advantage of the charitable disposition of the faithful householders. The first duty of a person in the renounced order of life is to contribute some literary work for the benefit of the human being in order to give them realized direction towards self-realization. So book distribution, someone might ask, well, did I write any books? The Living Monk, did you write any books? Of course I didn't write any books. But I give the books of a truly realized soul, my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace. So whenever we go out, even if we don't have books on us physically, nowadays it's so nice and easy. You can just give a link to a website where you can download Srila Prabhupada books. So this little contribution is always there and can always be done, and super easy. Amongst the other duties of the renounced order of life, of Sri Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami and the Goswamis in Vrindavan, foremost duty discharged by them was to hold learned discourses amongst themselves at Sevakunj, Vrindavan. Anyone been in Vrindavan? Let me know in the comments below if you visited. I visited this year. You can see the playlist of Vrindavan in the channel. By Sri Radha Damodar temple was established by Sri Jiva Goswami, and where actual Samadhi tombs of Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Jiva Goswami are laid. For the benefit of whole human society, they left behind them immense literatures of transcendental importance. Similarly, all the acharyas who voluntarily accept the renounced order of life aimed benefiting human society and not living comfortably or irresponsible life at the cost of others. However, those who cannot give any contribution should not go to the householders for food. For such mendicants, asking bread from the householders are an insult to the highest order. What is the highest order? That's the mendicants, the sannyasis. Shukadev Goswami gave a warning especially to these mendicants who adopt this profession to solve their economic problem. Such mendicants are in abundance in the age of Kali. When a man becomes a mendicant, willfully or by circumstances, he must be of firm faith and conviction that the Supreme Lord is the maintainer of all living beings, everywhere in the universe. Why then would he neglect the maintenance of a surrendered soul who is 100% engaged in the service of the Lord? There's a question mark here. So this is actually why I wanted to read this particular verse. So this is something that modern religion in generally, what we call as religion, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, they fail to address. They fail to address why, although God, there is a joke actually like that, that there's this guy, it's some famous comedian, he was relating that joke, that this guy in the sky, and he's supposed to be the richest and the most powerful, but in the same time, for some reason, let me bring the mic up, in the same time, for some reason, he sends all the time his messengers to collect donations, to ask money from us. Although he's the most rich, seemingly he needs money all the time. Why is that? It's a contradiction. Well, actually, it's not a contradiction. But it's a nice joke, that describes the situation. Because what happens what happens in religion in general. People give donations. They do it too out of duty, right? But they, the other side, the or religious organization that is being maintained does not give that contribution back. You know, it doesn't satisfy this hankering of the soul to know where it is, where is it coming from, what is the soul, who is God. You know, they cannot answer these questions. Reincarnations? Oh, there are no reincarnations. It's a belief. Killing animals? No, they don't have a soul. You can kill the animals. God? Well, God is just light, and in the end we're going to go to Him anyway. So you can do anything and everything. And if you do something you feel a bit guilty, you can give an extra donation. Like that. So the religion became like a washing machine of our guilt. You know, we all have our guilt, because we are guilty. We feel guilty all the time because we're not in the place we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be in the spiritual world. So of course we're going to feel guilty. But this purification of this feeling of guilt, you know, the way of actually how to do it, it's through yoga, through connecting yourself with God. So how can you connect yourself with God if you don't know how God looks like? If you don't know where God lives, if you don't know how you look like? You know, mostly religions, they teach you the body. You know, you're man, woman, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, all these different connotations, assertions of the body. So, and above all, they fail to explain that God always maintains you. God will never forsake you, and God takes care of you. You know, actually, if you look at all the previous, if you look at these great previous prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, they all preach the same thing, that don't be entangled with seeking your bare necessities. You know, you aim higher. You know, don't be stuck in this eating. What do I eat? Where should I sleep? What should I wear? You know, it is already supplied. It's supplied to the animals. So why won't God supply to you? If God supplies these bare necessities to the animals, they don't think about Him at all. You know, so we are human beings, and we best out with this quality, like Prabhupada explains here, to surrender to God and engage in His service. He would not care for us? Of course He will. So the reason for asking the contributions on behalf of God is not for our maintenance, actually. Our maintenance is already supplied by God. So why do monks, they go out and beg? So I'll take you back to what happened to me when I was chanting. This lady, she asked me if I'm hungry. So I told her, no, you're hungry. You have to chant. So she explained to me, well, I already know God. I practice my religion. And I told her, whatever your religion is, if you don't satisfy God, you will remain hungry. You have to satisfy God. And then she was persisting a bit more. So should I give you a donation? Should I not give you a donation? What should I do? And I told her, well, you listen to God in your heart, and He is going to tell you if you should give me donation or not. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not after your donation. Oh yeah, certainly, I'm going to crop the video and post it. And make subtitles and everything. It was on Facebook Live. And at the end, she gave a donation. And but the point is, I'm trying to convey is that the bare necessities are already supplied by the Lord. So mendicants, when they go out, their interaction with the public, especially when it comes to donation, it comes from the platform of service. Everyone is serving someone. Someone serves the family, the boss. You know, but we as devotees, we want to show them that no, you serve God. If you serve God, everyone will be satisfied. Don't just serve your family, your nation, your religion, like that. So the purpose of the contribution is to make this connection with the public. You know, they all, everyone, 99.9% of the people in Kali Yuga, they're materialists. Even many of the spiritualists, they're materialists, right? So how do we elevate them? How do we not forsake them? We find a way, find means by which they can render service to Krishna, to God. And because everyone is earning, everyone is collecting contributions for his family, his society, like that. If they simply put whatever they feel God inspires them to give from within the heart, their spiritual life begins. You know, Krishna, God will never forget them. So let's read a little bit more, and I'm going to answer some of your questions. A common master looks after the necessities of his servant. So how much more would the all-powerful, all-opulent Supreme Lord look after the necessities of the fully surrendered soul? General rule is that mendicant devotee will accept simple loincloth without asking anyone to give it in charity. He simply salvages it from the rejected torn cloth thrown on the street. When he is hungry, he may go to the magnanimous tree which drops fruits, and when he is thirsty, he may drink water from the flowing river. He does not require to live in a comfortable house, but should find a cave in the hills, and not be afraid of jungle animals, keeping faith in God, who lives in everyone's heart. The Lord may dictate to the tigers and other jungle animals not to disturb his devotee. So this, this is not always practical, right, to go in the cave and all these things. And not all of us are to that extent surrendered, at least I'm not. But, if we look at the verse at the end, after all these options, Shukadev Goswami says, and above all, does the Almighty Lord not protect the fully surrendered souls? So this is what the purpose of being a monk, being a living monk, is to show that you can live as a monk, that you are, that you practically convey this message that we're not the body, that God is the supplier of all the living entities, so He will not forget you. So we're showing an example of surrender to the general mass. And by asking contributions, these contributions, they simply, so the people in general, they have opportunity to serve, to purify their money, their accumulation, their wealth, like that. It's not for the monk's sake, because the monk is already, he has Krishna, he has God, the supreme powerful. What more do you need? So let me look at the comments. Let's see what you're writing there. How do I go to the live chat from here? Oh, okay. Okay, here's a comment. I saw you asking donation to the Indian in the USA. Then he immediately gave you, oh, why the comment section is disappearing? Then he immediately gave you, he gave you a donation, but then I asked more. Isn't it begging? Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to convey in this video, that we asking for the donations, right? So, like one of the comments actually nicely brought up this point that everything is already belongs to Krishna, So whatever contributions they give, they're simply giving it back, they're returning. So the more they give, the better for them. Either they give a penny or they give $1 million. For us, for the monks, it's the same thing. Because what are we going to use? What are we going to use it for? Printing literatures, distributing spiritual foodstuff. The benefit always goes to their extent. So the more, the better. Why specifically I tackled him that because he's Indian? Well, because the Indian culture based on that, on Sanatana Dharma, based on Vedic principles. In Vedic principles, it's not like in religion that you give 10% and we'll leave you alone. No, they give everything. They give their life. Just like I myself, I'm a monk. So in the Vedic culture, everyone's supposed to be a monk, in the beginning of his life and at the end of his life. So if they give $1 more or $1 less, what does it matter really? Okay, tricky because it's not a donation, it's for sale. No, it's not for sale. Many times I give the books for free too. The donations that people give, this is another reason I ask a little bit more sometimes, because some people, they cannot give. So I end up giving books without asking anything. Just like actually happened to me this last Friday when I went to the market to chant. I'm going to post that video further on. When this lady came and she was asking me if I'm begging because I don't have anything to eat. But before that, this one boy who speaks only Arabic, he came, he was very interested in the book, and he couldn't give me anything, but I simply asked him if he's gonna actually read the book, because this is a stress on the donation. Why actually we do ask the donation specifically with the book, because if people take the book and it's free, in their mind they're gonna think, oh, this book is worthless. There's no price for that. Nowadays, you can see they hand out newspaper for free, and the same moment people take it, they put it right away in the garbage. There's no actually value in possessing that object for them. So we don't want that to happen with the spiritual book. So that's why we do ask a contribution. So in their perception, it's going to be something valuable. And of course, there are exceptions. There are people that are going to read it regardless, and they're going to feel that value regardless of either you ask a donation or you don't ask a donation. And there are these people. So, I sort of, throughout the years, I learned to identify them, if they're actually going to read the book, or they just take it because it's free, or because, something else, So sometimes it's hard to identify, but if they give, even if they give something like a token, I usually just say give a token, then, at least they're going to read one line, before they're going to put it aside on the shelf or something like that. Because, yeah, we're living in a materialistic world. So we have to find ways and means how to interact with this materialistic public. Everyone is after money. Okay, so we seemingly too, we pretend I'm after money too. Give me your money. I'm going to turn it into spiritual money, and then you're going to benefit. And the more the better. The more they give. If you think about it, what people do with the money, especially in the West, I think in India it's nowadays the same thing. People simply use the money for sex, alcohol, prostitution, drugs, gambling, you name it. 90% of what they do with the money is sinful, and it goes against them. So the more they give for the monks who don't drink, don't smoke, we don't even drink tea or coffee, We sleep little, we eat little, we don't indulge in animal slaughter, meat eating, you know, the less they gonna have money to indulge in these things, you know, because after all, you know, buying, let's say, cigarettes, it's not a very cheap thing. And many times it happened to me. Someone, he had $10 left or something, and he said, oh, I wanted to buy a pack of smokes today, I'm sorry. And I told him, pack of cigarettes, give me your money. Give me your money, so you're not gonna buy cigarettes today, you know. And he did that, you know, because deep inside, I mean, what deep inside? It's obvious, you know, you're killing yourself when you're smoking, you know, right? And spiritually too, you covering yourself spiritually. When you indulge in these sinful activities, you prolong your material existence. So this is the duty of the preacher. If I can summarize this whole session, the preachers, the mendicants, the bona fide mendicants, the monks, they should feel that it's their duty to ask contributions, because that saves the general populace from sinful activities. They're gonna have less money to indulge in things that gonna harm them. Yeah, thank you for the comment, Kesha, for paying attention to that point. Do you think devotees especially is true? Okay, now the question about the milk. Yeah, sure, I can address that, no problem. But Prabhupada, he came to the West and the same situation more or less was going on. The milk was contaminated. This milk is still contaminated, probably even more contaminated. But Prabhupada still insisted that devotees should offer that milk. Why? Because the cows, they saved. Any living entity which gives service to Krishna, directly or indirectly, is liberated. So these cows, these poor cows that are being slaughtered in the West, of course it's bad, it's harmful for them. But if one drop of their milk is used to serve Govinda, the one who gives pleasure to the cows, he is gonna liberate them. So it's actually harmful not to offer milk to Krishna in the West, especially. This is where the most it's needed. Of course, it's nice. Like, I visited the Hare Krishna community. You have such a nice farm there. I highly recommend everyone to go and check it out. 200 cows, and everything is according to our spiritual master, followed, living peacefully, simple living, high thinking. But in the West, you know, we so lagging behind. It's so difficult to make people live in chant Hare Krishna. You can see in my videos, most of the times, you know, I'm there, seemingly alone. Of course, I'm not alone, I'm with Krishna. I'm chanting, and I'm just begging, asking. This is actually the only thing I do beg directly for. It's people to chant. You know, even they give me, if you pay attention, they give me a donation. They put a donation. And ask them, while they put the donation, I tell them, okay, chant Hare Krishna. You gave a donation, very good. Now you chant Hare Krishna. So it's giving their contribution is simply an extra impetus for them to start chanting. Yes. Okay, someone asked if I use milk outside of India. Yes, because I use it for Krishna. You know, if someone is using it for his senses, it doesn't matter. He uses milk or vegetables or you know, meat, all these things. It's unoffered food stuff. Krishna says, one who is not offering before he eats, you know, he is eating sins. His mouth is full of sin. It doesn't say one who is not offering milk from India or vegetables from India or vegetables that he grows himself in the garden. You know, this is a material consideration. You know, the real consideration of a Krishna conscious person is that offered to God, to Krishna. So, because what happens? These vegetables, you know, they liberated. Yes, I've been to India. You can check the playlist. There are a few of them about Jaipur, visiting the Hare Krishna community, Vrindavan, like that. So it's a very similar topic to the donations, because you know we you know, there's so many people who are, they're so sinful there. You know, we don't even want to know what they do. You know what they will do if you don't take this money from them and turn it into Lakshmi, into Krishna's energy. But one thing we do know is that everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. So the only way to help them from their position is to take whatever they're willing to give. The cows, they're willing to give the milk. Okay, it's contaminated, it's sinful, like that. It's the cows, they're going to get slaughtered. But Krishna asks for that milk. Prabhupada asks for their contribution to print books. So it's very, very parallel line. So let us take it, not for ourselves, not for our sake, but for sake of helping the people and elevating them. So one day they're gonna start chanting Hare Krishna, you know. So okay, there are a few more comments. If I'm planning to get married, I don't know. I don't plan. Whatever Krishna is planning, I'm gonna do. Radhe Radhe. How do you survive other than book donation, money wise? I survive by Krishna. Yoga Kshema Vayami Aham. Krishna says, whatever you lack, I give. Whatever you have, I preserve. So this is the principle that especially the monks, they should live by, the brahmacharis, and to show that it is possible. God exists, and He is not poor. He is ready to supply everything you need to serve Him, not for your senses, but to serve Him. Thank you so much for watching. Hare Krishna from Israel, the Middle East. Thank you for joining this Living Monk channel. So we're going to reach 10,000 subscribers. I'm excited. Let's keep it up, and more live videos to come, discussions. I'm planning to another live video of live chanting to the Israeli army. That was the second viral video on my channel. So I'm going to make an attempt to make another video like that, but live this time. So stay tuned. Make sure you hit the notification button so you know when that particular live stream gonna be out. And I'll see you all in that live stream. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, all glories to Prabhupada, and all glories to you.